Good evening, I'm Giuseppe Basile, I'm the analyst and trader you can find at the website www.fibstalker.com. I also post regularly on Twitter using the @fibstalker nickname. Good evening, today is May the 14th, 2014, and it's Wednesday. It's midnight almost in Toronto, and this is the first of the 3 videos I'm going to record today. This is a daily update valid for tomorrow, May the 15th. In this video, I'm going to review for you the euro dollar, the S&P500, the dollar index, and the gold mini futures. Let's start from the euro dollar, which is what you see on the screen. When we look at the daily and we zoom in into the daily here, we see that this market actually reached again the 137.21, that area of support starting at 137.21, and the important level, in my opinion, that is being watched by program trading is the 136.63 here. We breached below 36.62, and I think this market can see much lower price, and in my weekly review I gave this level 130.20. If you want to review the weekly review, just subscribe my newsletter. You can go to my website, and I usually provide the last 6 numbers of the weekly review. At the moment then, this market is testing this area of support. We don't know whether it's going to break this level or not. If you hear from people that they know the future, well, you can consider whether it's worth trusting them. I don't know the future, and what I'm giving you is a reference level here. So we know that this market has been trading in extensions here, and one way to read this market is to model it through this extension that actually broke price from 37.79, a front run of that level, broke price into first and second target. So if you wanted to be aggressive, you actually would consider this sequence of measure move failed already. However, you have to be careful here, because we have to look at what is trading at the moment. So at the moment there is still a short trade. In fact, when we trace from highs to lows here, we see that there was a reaction at 137.31 level here. So only if we break above 137.41 there is a possibility for this market to continue higher, or go to and test the next level of resistance that would come at 138.40. So be very careful about this market. We are still in short here. Only above 137.42 we will be in long again. Moving to the SP500, we can see here that this market is still hovering around this 1882. This is a first target of this basket setup here, and that's the reason why this market has not being able to push much higher, at least so far. So there is a possibility for this to be just a brief breakout here, and maybe this is part of this distribution we saw since now at the beginning of March. So there is still a possibility that this market will come below this 1882 and continue lower. At the same time, we know that there are 2 measure moves here, and I want to show you. I want to move here the scale a little bit to show you the first target of the reaction we had mid of April here, which is going to be 1931, and there is also a second target of the larger weekly setup, the 1735 on the March contract. So everything is open still in this market. I think a lot of people are hoping for this market to correct, but actually that's exactly when the market actually can surprise. And at the moment is still above this 1882. I think we have to get below this level if we want to see this market retrace. There is still the possibility for this market to go right into 1931 and even higher, so be very careful here. The dollar index, it's in quite an interesting move here, and you will remember that on the weekly time frame we had this resistance level 84.90, which was tested a number of times, 2 times in 2012, and and actually 2 major times in 2013. Actually 2012 it was tested in reality 4 times, as you can see here. But the two major peaks, there are 2 major peaks there, so it's not really very important how many times it was tested. What is important is that it held, and we know that this level had targets below. Now, lately we have focused on 2 measure moves. A larger measure move, a short-term measure move, which actually was able to bring price into first target, and that's the high beginning of April to lows, and we saw participation in this 089, and you can review my weekly newsletter again to see the big picture. As you can see, this measure move brought price into 79.06, and the next sequence in the next measure move in the sequence failed. So clearly on this smaller time frame, this sequence of measure move short failed, and price start moving higher. Now, if you are asking yourself where this price stopped, well, it stopped right at the all-the way halfway back, and that's a level that we know is 80-30. We know that there is participation on the short side here. So we got this interesting trust here, which shows that the market is already trading on the smaller time frame in extensions. And I'm going to remove some of these values, and we could make an effort to identify the sequence of measure move here going into this level of resistance. And let me trace this level of resistance again here, so we have it very clear, and it's very clear in our mind. So clearly there is a sequence of measure move higher here, and there are 2 levels that now we have to watch. The one will be the continuation of this sequence of measure move highs. We see here that this market is trading in extension. It found support at this 79.85, which was able to bring price into first and second target. But if we look at the sequence then of measure move, we see that the next measure move in the sequence already failed. So it is possible to witness a retracement for this market, and the question here is very interesting, because of course the shorts will take advantage of this failure, but we will need to understand whether this is a failure of long on the 4-hour chart, or a failure that has been pushed by shorts here. So we still don't know that, but we knew that here we could expect some participation. So this measure move have failed. So now we're waiting for a retracement, and there are 2 areas we need to watch. The first one is going to be the highs to highs here, and this is an extension. So if the market gets into 79.80 here, and then we get a rebound, there is a possibility for a continuation higher in an extension short. And if we pierce this 80.62, 80.63 here, which is the level that I showed you before, then I believe the dollar is out of the woods, and the euro will actually very much probably correct into that 130.20. So I think it's a very important play here, and very important area to check. We also have the possibility to get into the all-the way halfway back. Well, we don't have to guess, because the Phillips talking techniques is going to tell us when the sequence of measure move fails, whether this 79.8 is the level of support, or whether the 79.60 is the level where support starts. So no need to guess there. Let's have the market help us on this. And as you can see, there is already a measure move lower here, so there's a possibility for this market to move into 80 and 79.90. Very interesting market, and this is a market to follow, because it's going to dictate what the euro dollar is going to do. And to close this first video, the gold, congratulations to those who took the signals I provide. If you remember well, I provided this level 12.96 that did not produce a free risk trade just yet, because this market is at 13 highs, 13.09 I think. free risk trade comes a little bit higher here. Those who waited for this market to sorry, this is the 4-hour chart, so I jumped into it, but I'm gonna go back to the daily to show you what I meant here. So let's go to it now. You remember that this level, the 1285, has been now acting as support for a number of times here, 5 to 6 times, and he acted as a support again here. And the way we would verify that was on the 4-hour chart using lows to lows here, and there was a front run here, but price was able to move into this 1282. So as the market hit the target, we can actually trace the next measured move, and this level, the 1296.30, was the level, or 25 or 30 here was the level where to enter long. I also say that this market could actually correct, and in fact it did correct into and went below the this area of support here, but another entry would have been 1293 with a stop below lows if you didn't get the other entry, and this trade would have offered you already a free risk trade. So at the moment I'll stick with the trade that I mentioned, which was this one, and I will stick with this, and we'll see whether we will get a free risk trade. If this market retraces, you can retrace into the, notice that the all the way halfway back here also failed. So this market is actually in now confirmed long, and there is still a possibility for this market to so if we consider this a busted measure move here, we could make a case here that this market actually confirmed support, but at the same time the sequence of measure move did not held initially, but eventually it held. So I believe there is this the most probable move for this market could be into this 1299. Again, if we get a full retrace here, that's not an issue. We have the we can study the 15 minutes chart here to see whether if we get a continued retrace here where this market is going to complete its correction lower, and when the sequence of measure move lower fails. It just started, we still didn't hit an area of support. The two areas of support on these 15 minutes come at these levels here, so 1299 and 1295. So these are the areas to watch for a long. I hope this video is useful. I wish you a very good trading day. Tomorrow is Thursday, still a good day for trades, intraday trades. Not so much for new swings, and unless we get clear signals here. So be careful. There's no need to rush. There'll be plenty of opportunity, like always. Thank you very much for your attention. Thanks for sticking around. If you want to get a free newsletter, just go to my website and you'll get the last 6 issues, the last 6 weekends. And I hope you enjoy the content, and send me an email if you have any questions or you want me to review something specific. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye now.